and welcome to the SAP Analytics Partner Series, Episode 2. And SAP partners play a key role in driving customer success. For the moment customers identify their needs to the successful adoption of SAP solutions to value realization. So, this is a series where we bring our partners to talk about their latest innovations, more so in the analytics space. I'm Shendra, and you're watching this simulcast live on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. I hope you're safe and maintaining social distancing, as it is very important. If you hear me, then press the thumbs up button, or also tell me which part of the world are you joining us from. Put that in the comment section. Where are you all coming from? What country? What city you are in? Just let us know. Put that in there. For you to view this episode and other sessions that I run on emerging technologies live, I would request you to follow me so that you can be alerted when a live session is on. This gives you an opportunity to ask questions from our guests. So please press the follow button on LinkedIn if you're watching on LinkedIn. If you're watching on YouTube, press the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you can be alerted. If you're watching on Twitter, press the follow button. And if you're watching on Facebook, you can do two things. One is like, put a heart on it or a like, and then share it around with other groups that are analytics focused or SAP focused. So more and more people can learn from these guys who are going to talk about their analytics journey. Okay, so have you pressed the like button? Tell us where are you coming from. Okay, in today's episode, we'll talk about data analytics practices in the energy sector and what role it plays in response to the consumer behavior shift because of COVID-19 pandemic. Due to the drop in the energy demand, energy sector is passing through uncertain times, and predictive analytics is helping the industry to stay ahead of the curve. Let us hear from Incture Technologies, which is an SAP partner, on how it is all coming together for them. To discuss this, I have three special guests from Incture, two from Bangalore and one from Canada, who have been working at the forefront of digital transformation innovations for the past several years. And I think it is a good idea to talk to them about this. For you, there is an opportunity to ask the questions. So if you've got a question, put that question in the comment section so that we can ask them these questions. My first guest is Nitin Mathur. Nitin leads the data analytics practice at Incture. He has over 15 years of experience and has led several complex programs successfully so far. Before joining Incture, he was associated with HCL Technologies, SAP Labs India, and IBM GBS. So he's worked at a couple of companies I've worked too. Let's ask him when he joins. He's currently responsible for delivering innovative solutions on data analytics, machine learning, cloud adoption, and application development across multiple geographies. So let me bring in Nitin to the show. Hey Nitin, how are you doing?
Yeah, hi Shailendra. Good to be with you. As you mentioned, in my current role at Incture, I look after data analytics as a practice, various initiatives and customer engagements across various geographies. Happy to be in conversation with you.
Good stuff. And Nitin, you worked at IBM and SAP, right?
Yes.
I've worked at both the companies as well. So we worked at same companies at different times probably. Okay, let me bring on other guests. Sorry. My second guest is Vidhu. Vidhu is a program manager at Incture Technologies. She has more than 16 years of experience delivering complex solutions in the IT industry. Prior to joining Incture, she has worked with Hindustan Lever and SAP India Private Limited, where she has handled multiple global implementation projects. Her passion is to empower customers to make decisions more swiftly and efficiently, to maximize their business value and cost effectiveness. So without any further ado, let me get Vidhu. Hi Vidhu, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks, Shailendra, for having me. Glad to be here, and thanks to the audience who are joining us. I'm grateful that they found time for us today. And yes, I work with Incture, and I lead the program management at Incture Technologies.
Okay, let me get the third guest as well. And finally, we have Teji Sandhu, all the way from Calgary in Canada. It must be late night for him, so let's ask him that. He is a digital transformation consultant for energy industry, working for Incture Technologies. Teji, as he's called, and we've got a question around his name as well. We'll talk to him. Teji has over 15 years of experience in the energy industry, focused on oil and gas and utilities. Teji has been part of various digital transformation initiatives across the energy industry. He has extensive experience in managing oil fields, services, businesses across several geographies. So, digital oil field and pipeline analytics are also an area of Teji's expertise. So, let's get Teji onto the show. Hey, Teji, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Hey Shailendra, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Very good. So, we were talking about your name, right? So, Teji, Tejinder. So, tell us about
Yeah,
that.
there are various variants of that, Shailendra, as you rightly picked, right? So I worked across geographies. I worked in India, Middle East, UK, and now in North America, right? So when we go back to our name, if in India or Middle East, people can talk about Teji. They have that sound, right? You come to North America, you are more of a TJ, right? So So I'm kind of used to many different variants of my name, but thanks for picking that up, and thanks for having us here. It's so glad to be at your platform here and talking to everybody. Hope everybody's doing safe. Just to give you a quick background, I come from oil and gas background. I worked in Schlumberger for about 12, 13 years. Prior to that, I worked in manufacturing. So being with Schlumberger, I worked in I started from grounds up, kind of working in the field. Spent a lot of time on the rigs and all, in Africa, offshore, onshore, a lot of places across the globe, and then worked in the operations extensively. That's where I got a flavor of, how exactly energy sector work, and then likely I got that glitch, and then I'm into the digital side of it from last 2 years, and with Incture from a year now. So glad to be here, and would look forward for the discussions today in the analytics space.
Good
Thanks, Shalendra,
stuff.
for having me here. Yeah.
Good stuff. So, the solutioning team in Incture is deeply involved in coming up with innovative solutions, mostly in the data analytics and energy space, as you guys are focused on. So, I'd like to begin with you, Nitin. Can you tell us what are the most common business challenges that you're facing, that your customers are facing at this time during the pandemic as well? So, tell us two things. Okay, let me turn it around. Tell us two things. What kind of business questions, business challenges are your customers facing, and how has it changed coming COVID, the pandemic?
Absolutely. Thanks, Shalendra, for this question. So at Inchure, we work with various industries like oil and gas, manufacturing, retail, CPG, and so on. And we have observed some commonality in the business challenges or the use cases that we encounter on a day-to-day basis. We all know that growing any business is complicated, and scaling an organization from the current state to a future state requires a lot of business problems to be solved. And most of these, are common problems across various organizations and irrespective of the industry. So nowadays, the common ask is about how we bridge the gap between the different data sources, different audiences, different technologies, and different businesses, which aim to achieve a higher and a common business objective. So what I see is the key to success is the ability to integrate people, processes, and technologies together, and that is where Incture plays a key role as a system integrator. Here, I would like to highlight few common business challenges or pain points which normally we have come across, especially in these COVID times. First of all, like every customer is, kind of cognizant that there are technology trends in the market and technology is evolving in the market, right? And we have SAP and Microsoft and AWS and Google's of the world. So how can I keep a pace with these changing technology trends in the market? So that becomes one of the driver for customers to think about their current landscape. Also, every customer wants to think upfront how to design their systems and processes upfront in the beginning, and how over a period of time they wanted to bring in changes to their business processes to keep uh, you know in accordance to the growing needs of the market. So normally companies keep validating their business processes from time to time, but at certain point in time they need to revisit their business processes via business process management cycle to see like how they can increase the productivity of the people, or how they can automate their current business processes. So just in the overall updating the business process from time to time is inevitable now. And we have also seen that customers sometimes don't really have a very clear direction or vision on what to perform. Sometimes they will ask like, what kind of applications should I build to take care of my business, or how can I connect my disparate systems? So they might be a hybrid system which they might be dealing with. So they wanted to know like how I can connect all my systems and bring the data to a common data platform or a data lake to gain business insights. So in order to achieve this, they want to know like what technology stack should I use, what should be the ROI of my investments, how soon I should start realizing the benefits, right? And if I am bringing in any change, how soon I would be able to realize these changes, and how should I bring the change management within my organization? And all customers are very cognizant about their competition, so they always want to stay ahead of the market competition. So in order to achieve that, they also come up with some requirements which we come across. Including these COVID time, we have witnessed a major change in the way we receive the requirements from the business, and the way people look at it, and the way we are providing the solutions has completely changed. So Incture, what I see Incture is at right now forefront and well positioned to adapt to these changing times. And we wanted to partner with all the clients on their data journey in a successful way.
Okay.
Yeah, Vidhu, you would like to add to it?
Add something to it?
Yeah, sure. And Incture's role in this tough times is to strengthen its digital portfolio, I would say, right? So CherryWork is our foundation on which digital applications and systems are built, right? As you see here, CherryWorks is the registered trademark of Incture Technologies. So we deliver digital solutions, including CherryWorks intelligent digital applications. So Incture is one of the largest providers of digital applications and technical solutions on SAP Cloud Platform, SAP Analytics Cloud, and Business Technology Platform as well. So as you see here, we have three components under this bucket. On the left, you see focused digital applications. We have 8 applications on SAP App Center. These applications deliver hyper automation, and addressing a particular business process and application area. So what happens is these are digital applications built on cloud to cover the gaps in the business processes. And the second bucket in the center that you see here is Unified Digital Workplace. It's a suite of digital applications to bring productivity to its customers, employees, suppliers. So all the user community, basically HR, supply chain, marketing, these communities come together as they have characteristics which are very similar and have a similar set of responsibilities. So we cater to these industries, we extend our applications to enhance their user experience, employee service portal, and we also build UI for mobility to enhance the business applications. In short, we address the entire BTP business technology platform here with the CherryWorks umbrella. Last but not the least, we have the digital ecosystem here as well, which connects people, processes, systems across organizations and customers, suppliers, and partners. So basically, we are combining many digital applications into one digital solid ecosystem. And below you see here is the DTP. We leverage technology for all digital applications like IoT, RPA, AI, machine learning, data analytics, etc. And
Sorry, Vidhu, can you tell me, are these applications available on the App Store and
yes,
customers can download?
yes. If you go to SAP App Center and you search for CherryWorks, you will get it on the top results. So they are out there and ready to use.
Brilliant.
And we also work towards empowering our clients to make confident driven decisions and improve their outcomes using these applications that we just talked about, right? So Incture's robust practices in data management, analytics enables business decision making by applying this science to data, right? So we enable true data driven solutions for customers. Our experience in this journey begins with data acquisition to data preparation, exploration, as well as data modeling. And as you all know, that SAP Analytics suite with HANA Cloud Platform and third-party technologies also drive machine learning, AI, data visualization, and whatnot for the business, right? And we at Incture engage our customers in different ways by providing services what suits to the client the most, right? So looking at their business needs, we do business consulting, we do building roadmaps for their organization, provide services and package service models. So that's
So
how we go.
So it all starts with a consulting engagement and then get into.
Yes, knowing their pain points, what they need, what their roadmap should look like, what service model will suit them, and most of this is covered in Cherryworks, I would say. Teji, you
Good.
want to add something to the COVID perspective?
But I have a different question for Teji though. So Teji, in the in the COVID times, how is it all changing? Well, I think we missed on the COVID times now. So it's for you to actually cover that and focus on the energy sector as well. How it is moved around.
Correct. No, thanks, Vidhu and Shailendra for this question, right? So basically, I mean, if you look at the energy industry, this is very human capital intensive, industry. So you look at if there are 100 employees in an energy company, you will typically find 60 to 70 people work out in the field. So that's a big chunk of people really working out in the field.
Yep.
So with COVID-19, as we all know, right? I mean, we are going through this pandemic and we are bound to sit in the homes, or let's say we are all concerned about how we can go around, how we can move, right? And with the energy sector, as we all know, right, most of these people, all these hardworking people in this field, they go out in the field, they find oil for us, they find gas for us, and then basically bring energy to our homes, right? So to support these guys, this is one of the biggest demand we have seen lately, that workforce accessibility. So we are looking at a lot of geo-tracking, geofencing applications, wherein we can make sure employees are kind of having good tracking. We are able to support them and help them to go around the field, do work in an optimized way, have like least driving time in the field to limit the exposure. On top of that, we are also looking at touchless operations. We don't want everybody to touch the tab and fill in the data, because people share those stuff, right? So we are going with a lot of voice recognition technologies nowadays, and that's another key topic we are looking at. Apart from that, I mean, the latest trend we have seen is, which we picked from aviation and manufacturing industry, is mainly in the augmented reality. In this oil and gas and even the utility sector, wherever we are going to find energy and distribute energies, we have people out there having troubleshooting. They need to kind of fix the machine. They have to fix the pump. Now, earlier, back in the days, we used to have a lot of people going around, a lot of experts in the field. But with less access to the people now, we don't have so many experts in the field because of the limitations with COVID-19. Augmented reality is helping them to, troubleshoot from location. One guy can just go open your phone or iPad and just show the equipment, use AR technologies to troubleshoot the problems. So we are doing more with less, I would say, at the end of the day, right? And that's the theme of the hour, right? Everybody's doing more with less. And apart from that, safety is another big thing. By helping these people to track their location, to help them troubleshoot, I think we are meeting both the objectives, bringing safety to the workplace, and as well as doing more with less. So that's the theme, I would say.
So you mean we're going into a Star Trek age where everything is futuristic? You've got augmented reality, you've got voice recognition, you've got geo tracking and whatnot. So everything is now very, very automated and covered. Is it what's going on?
Correct. I mean, I couldn't agree more, right? I mean, this is not this is the good opportunity coming out of this, really challenging situation we have right now, right? Pandemic has, put us in that shoes that we have to elevate our technologies and, bring everything together to escalate the, the kind of productivity bring in the field. So yeah, definitely, this is an opportunity coming out of the COVID, so hopefully we will all come out of it together.
So I do another show which is AI Startup Series, and we talk about all the new things that are going to come, and this is actually bringing that to life, because we talk a lot of concepts and we do bring in CEOs who talk about what they're doing,
Right.
but this is where you're bringing it to life, saying, well, the guys in the energy sector are now playing with geo tracking and voice recognition and AR and VR, and this is brilliant. This is brilliant, guys.
Exactly.
You've got these guys at Incture doing great job, and if you've got a question for them, put that in the comment section, and I'll definitely take that in the end in the audience Q&A section. But I have the next question for you guys, which is, okay, before even the question, I'll say there was a joke going around, and we laugh at this joke almost in every episode, and so I will crack it now for the people who are watching this. So there was a joke on WhatsApp that was going around. Who drives your digital transformation? The CEO, the CTO, the CIO, or COVID-19? I think digital transformation, COVID-19 has actually just made it to a different level. So, I'll ask you, why do you think digital transformation has become much more important even today in the COVID environment? And what is the general trend that you're seeing in the market, especially in the energy sector?
Sure. Thanks, Charlie, for a wonderful question, and I would like to address it. I believe that to stay competitive and relevant, it's very crucial for companies to begin and progress their transition to digital transformation, right? So adapting to digital is inevitable, and of course, it's no joke, right? So when companies transform, increasing customer intimacy, supply chain agility, operations efficiency often becomes the priority list for the companies, right? So what they need is a secure intelligence platform to close these gaps in their data chain. So delivering a much needed edge with intelligent ERP, I would say, becomes the motto for most of the companies and CEOs, right? So the seamless and consistent experience of intelligent ERP gives companies not only a harmonized 360-degree view of the business as well as it to its customers. So users benefit from instant insights, and a range of automated planning, forecasting, and simulation capabilities are possible henceforth. Yeah.
Yeah. And I will add Vidhu here for the energy side of it.
Yep.
Yes, Chalandar. So basically, for the digital transformation, if you look in the energy sector, I will just go a little back in time. So let's say 5 year back, 2015. We got this commodity price crash, and we went through the cycles we typically go through in the oil and gas or energy sector in general, right? I mean, we see this commodity price crash. So we have seen that happened 5-6 years back, and then all the companies were trying to coming back on the foot using the digital transformation. They were all on the journey from more than 10 years now, but nobody was that serious unless we see the decline in commodity price. Everybody want to bring efficiencies on board and make sure they are able to have a good numbers on the board. So eventually, with that commodity price drop, we have seen good acceleration. But as we came into 2020, and as we were talking about COVID-19, and price went to negative, and then that was another shift altogether. Now we went into, as you said, Shailendra, that Star Trek thing, right? We went into that mode, and now we are seeing that upstream, midstream, or downstream, any part of the energy industry you look at, they are kind of bringing up a lot of solutions on board to leverage their investments, because people have invested into it. SAP knows about it. All other big digital transformation companies, they know the energy industry has invested heavily into it, and now this is the time to leverage all that data they have, and this is the industry which is big data industry. We are talking about a typical offshore platform which has maybe a terabyte of data every day, right? I mean, so it's immense amount of data, and there is infrastructure setup already done. Now, if we talk about, let's say, upstream, for an example, we are looking at digitalization of the oil field. A lot of clients have done the DOF kind of application. We call it digital oil field, where we digitize pretty much every piece of the operation or value chain from end to end. And what comes on board is basically we cut down on all the inefficiencies, we cut down on the downtime by digitizing the information, taking away all the repetitive work, tedious work which people were doing. and helping them to increase their productivity. So that's the piece which digital oil field bring in, and it increase the safety of the worker out there, because we have less footprint out there for the human capital. On the same time, we have a much better learning curve, because from the data, everybody's learning from each other now, right? Which was not happening back in the days. It was all in the books for respective companies, but everybody's sharing now, and we are learning from here. Apart from that, we have seen the field service management, which is another big element. As we were talking, there are so many field employees out there. For them, end-to-end solutions, for them, like solutions like digital field ticket, right? I mean, why to do a paper ticket? Do a digital field ticket. All the billing cycle come down to few days from many months now, right? So all that things have bring in a lot of efficiencies, and this has also accelerated the digital transformation journey. And similarly for downstream side of it, we have seen a huge push into the plant asset maintenance, because this is the industry. Downstream is the industry where because we are shifting from fossil fuel towards the green energy now, and that's the call of the day, right? The all these industries like the refineries or the pipelines, they have to extend the life of their assets. There is no other option, because there is no more capital expenditure happening there. So preventive asset maintenance is kind of helping them, helping them big time. And similarly, in the retail side of it, if you see when we distribute the oil and gas, or even when we distribute the energies, for example, electricity and all the customer experience, that is a big thing. Customer second, it's a consumer-based industry. End user is the consumer, so they have to be empowered. They need to know exactly what's happening with their meters, what kind of information is coming out of their meters, right? When they see their bills, right? So these kind of things are happening in the industry. I can talk quickly about the utility industry, Shailendra here.
Give me a minute. I think there is. Okay, so you're doing that. I was trying to share the screen.
Oh, sure. Awesome. Thank you, Shailendra. So basically,
I was really interested in this, the utilities value chain and how it starts and how it ends, and where does predictive maintenance fit in this as well, or does it even fit in it? So let's talk about that.
exactly. So I will just take just a minute or so, to go through this one. So what we are looking at here is we are starting from left to right with the complete value chain. So this is where we are kind of generating the electricity or the energy, right? And from here you move to the market where you trade the energy. When we say generation, so electricity can be generated from thermal, nuclear, wind, solar. There are multiple ways of generating electricity right here. And then you move to the market and you trade energies, and then accordingly you start moving it from the source to the end user. So this is where you travel long distance in transmission, and then you distribute within the cities, and the industries. And when we come to the end user, there are meters which captures the information and give it to the residential houses and the commercial industry. So when we talk about like as you said, predictive asset, right? So that is one big theme. So when we look at this horizontal line right on top, it says asset lifecycle management. And this is where we are talking about all the assets starting from generation going until the house. There are assets like big machineries in generation. There are big transmission lines. There are transformers. There are a lot of wooden poles which are kind of distributing electricity within the cities. So all that infrastructure is kind of it is expected to deliver for, let's say, 40 to 50 years, right? And now to increase the life of those assets, we need to make sure we inspect them wisely. We kind of plan their maintenance very rightly so that we know before it fails. And we also don't do redundant kind of inspections where we don't need to do, right? So we look at the data and kind of help a lot of these clients and utility, mainly in the distribution side of the house, by predicting the failures for the wooden poles, or maybe predicting the failure for the transformer. And that is mainly done using the measurements from the, for example, geolocation of the assets. And as well as what we do nowadays, we use the forecasting data from the weather channels. And we use those data to kind of bring in the futuristic approach and kind of merge the data with the asset location, and we predict ahead of time where the failure is going to happen. So that way, we increase the life of the asset. and that helps this utility industries to optimize their inventories, because that's the big chunk of their expense when they have to manage huge inventories to cater to these needs, these outages, power outages, and all, right? So this is where we play a role in the predictive asset maintenance. There is a piece in the middle right here. You look at the smart grids, right? So what we're talking here is when we say smart grids, it's all about a grid system or a connected system from end to end. So basically, starting from generation till the end of the whole value chain, everything should be connected to each other to kind of learn from each other. That way there can be real-time optimization, there can be better load management, and then there is more of a real-time network controls. So that's main idea behind the smart grids. And this is where lot of energy loss. I mean, currently we are operating at around like 30 to 40% loss worldwide. That can be cut down by bringing the smart grids in there. And as we reduce the losses, we are going to reduce the need of energy, and that's going to help us to move from fossil fuel to renewables pretty quickly. So that's one big driver here. And last one is last but the most important one. This is all about the end user. This is about the customer who is using this thing at the end of the day. So it's about the customer empowerment, and we are using a lot of good applications. I can show you one advanced metering application in the coming times, as we go down the line. We use a lot of information coming from smart meters, which capture data from the electricity, from the water, gas, all the energy sources, and how we use the analytics to make sure customer get that energy management capacity. They know what exactly they're using. Is it coming from wind, solar? Is it coming from hydro? They have more choices. And also, once we have a information on the smart meters, we know the consumer behavior. We can do this customer segmentation. We can predict the demand load, and we can kind of and especially in the COVID-19 times, right? Look at the situation. People are working from home now, most of us, right? And that has changed the landscape of energy drastically, because the demand load has changed. All the load has come to the houses, and industries are relieved of the load. And so this transition is big for the utility industry. And now with all this data being captured and being processed together, it's a good chance that utility companies can manage it better, and they don't need to invest a lot and to bring up the infrastructure or increase their infrastructure. So that's the whole idea behind this value chain we wanted to show here. And this is where all of us, everybody's life is impacted. We all use energy every single day in our lives, right?
Okay. So, man, you talked about VR, you've talked about geo-tracking, you've talked about voice recognition. Now you're talking about hyper-personalization. You were talking about asset management, increased asset life. If I was an energy CEO, I love this. So you actually touched each end of the Gartner hyperscale in a minute. And that's amazing. That's amazing. So guys, you guys are doing some amazing job. But if you've got a question for them, put that in the comment section and I'll pick it up. Teji, you've explained this value chain. Can you showcase or talk about a use case that has really worked in this space? So go through a use case and where does it fit in the value chain as well?
Sure. Yeah, Shailendra, I have this one quick use case. As I was talking let me just go back to this last slide, right? So as we were looking at this last bucket, wherein we are looking at smart meter and housing, right? So what's happening right now? The information is coming from smart meters. And let me now go to this use case. So this is the cycle, how it works, So all the information which is gathered at the houses, or it is gathered at the industries or commercial, anywhere we are using energy, we are kind of capturing the information, right? So that digital information, once it's captured, it goes back to the network, it's put together, and then it goes to the company to kind of process this all together. And this is what we do in the advanced metering analytics application. So we pull in all the demand information from the smart meters, and that brings in, so that helps us to build the customer portal. So when we say customer portal, we give the visibility to the customer what kind of trends and patterns they have in terms of usage. Are they using more like, yeah?
Can you pause? I've got a very intuitive question, and if I don't ask you now, I'll just miss it.
Yeah, please go ahead.
We've heard the smart metering a lot, but I think there's a lot of confusion around it. So can we take a minute to actually explain what smart metering is? What is a smart meter? I have a meter at home. that captures how much energy I use.
Correct.
What energy does it capture?
Yes. So like when I'm saying smart metering, advanced metering, analytics, it can also be looked at smart metering, right? So what we do, so one meter you see on the screen top right, so we can, so these kind of meters which are there in the industry, right? I mean, we are talking about all these digital meters which will capture every millisecond of information in terms of the usage we do for the gas usage or electricity usage. They capture all kind of so the idea is we are picking the I would say infrastructure. We call it AMI. So we call it the measurement infrastructure. We call it for the utility industry that there's a digital capture of the information from the usage. We used to have a analog information. Now we have digitized it through these meters. And the beauty about these meters is like they capture the information until the milliseconds, right? And when we process the information, we look at the for example, when we have to come up with the anomalies and we have to come up with the trends and chart when we run the machine learning, that information coming from smart meter is really good, because if you capture the information every day or every week, it doesn't really help that much. But smart metering kind of capture the information to the milliseconds, right? That's the beauty of it. And when we put it all together from multiple houses and multiple commercial industries, right, that gives utility industry wider perspective. They can see it all together, right? And then they can use it to come up with the forecast. A lot of people are doing theft detection using the smart metering. That's one of the good application there, right? Because there is a lot of theft happening in the industry. And since from the smart meter you get the information which gives you the trend or pattern for the consumer. Now, if you see any anomaly or any big change in consumption pattern, right, there is a big alarm there that there is some kind of theft happening, right? So that's one of the big application. Apart from that, if you look at the back in the days when the electricity goes away, you need to call the helpline, and then somebody will come and fix it. But now with the smart meter, as soon as there is a some off, there is a meter reading is not coming, so automatically there is a notification which goes out to the company, and somebody will come and fix it in a matter of few hours, right, or maybe even less than an hour, right? So these are few applications which has helped utility companies to cater to their customer very well in these times, and customer is feeling much better than that. And they have visibility when it comes to smart meters. They do have a visibility. The energy source is coming from solar, wind, or it's coming from hydro plant, or is it coming from thermal plant? So all that kind of breakup of information is captured through the smart meter. So that's the beauty of the smart meter. It helps you to do many things. We just need to make sure we capture it, we put it in the right infrastructure, and then we analyze it. And this is where we have got this advanced metering analytics application. We built it. It's also on the SAP App Center, which we kind of use to help the customers.
Okay, so do you have any, and I'm asking you on the fly, do you have anything to show which talks about how it looks like, or not?
Not really right now here, Shailendra.
So guys, anyone who wants to see how it looks like, please put that in the comment section. I can reach out to the Incture team and they can reach out to you. The other way we can do that is, and if you're shy and you don't want to ask any question, then you can ask us, okay, where is it? Here we go. Let me find out if I can get that link to you guys. Okay, here we go. Okay, I've lost it. Don't worry. Okay, so if you've got a question, put that in the comment section. We'll take that. And if you want to reach out to me, I will reach out to the guys and ask those questions if you're not asking it now. Okay. That was energy industry, and we've spent a lot of time on Teji. We've got a beautiful girl in the house, and we don't want to miss her. So Vidhu, you tell us, what do you see other technology trends in other industries, and as at Incture, sorry, how are you using latest technology to help your clients?
Yeah, sure, Shailendra. Well, we all know that different technology trends these days revolve around AI, machine learning, RPA, virtual reality, blockchain. We have cybersecurity and IoT, of course, right? So the really cool thing about these technologies is that it's not only changing the way we do business, but it's also changing the business models. I would say we used to do it with, right? So, for example, in IoT, pay-per-use models are becoming increasingly popular across industries as new customer data becomes available, right? Similarly, in social media platforms, use of machine learning to get a better understanding of how you are connected with those in your social network. For example, machine learning is used to analyze your activity, your likes, your share, your commenting, and then it prioritizes. The engine prioritizes its content from your closest connections and serves you the content first, right? Prioritizes it over the others for you. So machine learning is really shaping the way business interact with their customers in a big way by helping them anticipate and meet the customer needs more easily. And at Incture, we are working on all of these technologies, right? So, with various customers across geographies, we are using, say, for example, SAP DI, data intelligence, which provides distributed data orchestration so that one can transform their structured, unstructured, and even streaming data into business insights, right? Then we also use SAP HANA Cloud to provide fast access, ability to perform analytical transactions in all kinds of data, as well as a business logic processing, all of this in memory on the fly. And then we also have SAP Data Warehouse Cloud, which is an end-to-end warehouse in the cloud that combines data management processes with the advanced analytics. So DWC is built on the powerful SAP HANA together with SAP Analytics Cloud, forms SAP HANA Cloud Services. And at Incture, we leverage all of these to make lives easier for our customers.
Okay. Nitin, do you
Would
have a
you like to
perspective
add?
on this?
Yeah. Thanks, Vidhu, for this insight. I think as at Incture, I just wanted to highlight that we have cloud-first strategy for all our business applications, and we leverage SAP Business Technology Platform to deliver all our applications. And as Vidhu mentioned, it includes SAC HANA Cloud, which is an answer from SAP for a data lake. So it has all the data tiering features, like it has the hot storage, cold storage, and warm storage, which helps to simulate the entire data lake features. And we have SAP Data Warehouse on cloud, which uses HANA Cloud as the underlying database. So the good thing is that the HANA Cloud not only provides in-memory features for the data warehouse on cloud, but SAC is also embedded as part of the DWC. So DWC becomes the go-to solution for all the customers in the future to have all the data integration, modeling, and the visualization, analytical model preparation, everything can be done on a single platform. And here I see there are some questions around like what are the different challenges that currently everybody is seeing around data management.
We'll take the questions in the end. Don't worry about the questions.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm just trying to revolve around those challenges. So normally customers will look at it investing in data warehouse as a lot of upfront cost, and the time to realize the value is really high, and there are no real time analytics done. There will always be some kind of a lag. Okay. And integrating so many data sources at one shot becomes always a challenge. So data warehouse on cloud has the answer to address all these challenges which currently customers are facing. So data warehouse on cloud not only allows you to integrate to various SAP or non-SAP data sources and structured or unstructured data, right, brings it to a common platform and allows you to do all cleansing, transformation, harmonizing of the data to make it meaningful or ready for bringing analytical insights to it. We can perform all data modeling over there, and visualization can also be done. And good thing about DWC is that it provides a lot of pre-built business content based on different industries or LOBs. It can be retail or manufacturing or whatnot. And another important thing for partners is that they can publish their templates or their business content to DWC and get benefited if it is chosen by any of the customers. So SAP not only provides standard content but allows partner also to publish their content.
Okay.
So I wanted to highlight that DWC, we should not take DWC as a replacement for SAP Business Warehouse, right? This has been perceived in a totally different way by the customers. The idea to bring in DWC is to continue to leverage the investments that a customer has already done using the SAP Business Warehouse or SAP BW or BW on HANA system, but it actually joins that and leverages that data and gives a scalability or extensibility to that data model or data in the cloud. So it allows you to have the scalable infrastructure. You don't have to shell out a lot of upfront cost. You can build and integrate to various data sources, and that too in real time. So I think that's the way forward.
That's great. That's great. Guys, all those guys who are watching, if you've got a question, you're trying to get something on the energy sector, we've got an energy expert here, and we've got two data analytics experts here. So if you've got any question related to them, please put that in the comment section and I'll take them. It can be industry question as well. If it is an energy industry, Teji has volunteered to take all the questions today. So, and don't forget to like and share this across so more and more people can learn from these three beautiful people here. Teji, I'll not leave you like this. Let me come back and talk about energy industry point of view on what's happening there.
Yes, yes, yeah. Thanks, Shalendra, for asking. So yeah, I think like Nitin and Vidhu were talking about this advancements in technologies, and we have now, data warehouse, we have DWC, SAC, so much stuff, right? Data lakes. So something which stands out in my mind right now, we can look at is machine learning. That is something used across the board. People are using it to do optimizations, do predictions. So that is one of the most common thing which is happening right now, because at the end of the day, the objective is to bring efficiencies on board, right? And somehow reduce the any money which is wasted, and then kind of help people to improve their life. For example, very very simple example of machine learning is we are able to support the field employees to come up with a smart routing wherein they don't need to so it's the best route possible for them to carry out their job across in the whole day. For example, a utility guy, right? There is an inspector who has to go around in the field and do inspections. So using the data, we are able to come up with the optimized routes and all. So that is on the machine learning side. Then apart from that, we talked about already augmented reality, which is more of the remote assistance. Then yeah, we have not touched on the virtual reality. That is something which is very interesting, which is being now picked up by the training side of the house. We can see there are some kind of the people come up with the virtual rigs. So rather than having the employees kind of going to the field and getting trained up in like a couple of weeks time, we can let people play on the virtual reality and have a feel of it. So the training period cost and time has cut down significantly, right? And that helps a lot in the energy sector. We talked about voice recognition, I believe, regarding how it's helping to do touchless operation. And yeah, another piece which is really picking up is RPA, because as we are looking at the energy sector, right, it's kind of it's crumbled under the commodity price, right? I mean, we don't have a very good price there, so there's a huge need of cutting down any of the tedious and repetitive tasks, and we need to free our workforce to do something productive. So RPA, robotic process automation, is really big. I mean, I've seen a couple of applications where we used to have admins to manage the work orders coming from the field, and there were dedicated admins for those. So now those people are doing better jobs in terms of we have bots to do that work, which is repetitive and kind of tedious, and those people are kind of doing more productive work now. So that is helping there. And last but not least is the image analytics. I mean, that is something. It's still futuristic, but we have seen the use of drones, because technologies have improved now. We can see a lot of good resolution image capture, a lot of data being in the data lakes now, so people can do image analytics to go and look at the patterns of change in environment, to look at the, for example, pipeline leak, or maybe you can look at the change of vegetation pattern in a utility industry, because we have these huge transmission lines, huge infrastructure feeding the big cities. We don't want any disruption there. So if there is a change in vegetation pattern, you can understand there is change coming in, and you can do the predictive asset maintenance ahead of time. So these are kind of trends I'm seeing, Shailendra, here. I think energy is kind of catching up. We were behind in terms of catching up on these technologies, but COVID has put us all, in these shoes now, and I think we are all getting there.
So yesterday, my shows, which is AI Startup Series, we had one CEO, and we were talking about how drones are being used to monitor windmills, and how they run drones to see if the windmill needs any repair work or anything beforehand, and even where to put a windmill, because two windmills, if they're kept close, is not going to create an optimal kind of an energy. So I think there's a lot of advancement happening in this space, and but tell me, what are the key drivers of this? So in my world, it's all about profit and loss. So is that optimizing costs, or is that generating more revenue? Where is it all coming? What are the key drivers behind it?
So I would say both are happening there, but overall, when I put the buckets together, right, I look at them in like three different buckets. One is mainly the efficiencies, because technology helps industries to become efficient, right? And we have seen that happen to the manufacturing back in the days, aviation, automobiles. So those industries have cut down their wastes like anything. They are Six Sigma kind of industries, but we are not. So energy sector is picking up, and to get those operational efficiencies, we are using technology as a tool now. So that is part one, to get efficiencies. And when we are kind of getting efficiency, that means we are reducing the cost as well as we are having more revenue, because we are having less downtime in the game. In the same time, we are producing more oil. There is less downtime there, right? So this is part one. Part two for the energy industry is always the employee safety, because it's, as I told, it's a huge field intensive work, and we need to make sure our workforce is safe. They work in remote locations, they work in many hazardous locations, right? So the safety is paramount for them. So that's where augmented reality and VR are kind of supporting them. So that is second driver to bring safety to the workplace. And third one is, again, to do more with less. I mean, I don't see many people are going to join energy industry down the line, in terms of there is a maturity in fossil fuel technologies. We are kind of seeing the drop in demand of fossil fuel in the coming decades. There are still decades to come before it goes out of the window, but there is a trend where we will not have a lot of new technology advancement that will lead to lesser workforce attracted towards the sector. So we need to have we have to do more with less, and we have to do more productive work. So that is the last piece, to help employee have a better productivity and feel more empowered.
Okay, guys, I'm enjoying this. This is absolutely a Star Trek world. Um, I'm sure you're liking it, but I'm not seeing enough likes. Guys, if you're watching this and you're enjoying this, please show the thumbs up. All it takes is putting a thumbs up or a heart out there. So we see that you guys are enjoying it, you're liking it. And if you've got a question, put that in the comment section. I'll take that question up very soon. Okay, let's get to COVID-19. Now, pandemic happened since the start of the year. We have been going through this tough time. So, what role is predictive analytics playing during this time? What is happening there? And then I'll come back to the energy sector as well, Teji, because I can't leave you like this. Coming back to Nitin, Nitin, tell us about how is it impacted? How is predictive analytics making a change?
Yeah, thanks, Shailendra, for bringing this up. I think predictive analytics is, I would say, one of the hot topics which we are witnessing nowadays. So many business corporations have been using predictive analytics for a very long time, and they used to assess risk or detect frauds. But in the recent time, we have seen that customers are now trying to leverage predictive analytics to see the kind of scale or the growth that they are actually looking for. And organizations are now looking for predictive analytics embedded as part of their core solutions to give them not only the competitive advantages but also to have a higher sales or revenue figures which they are looking for. So nowadays, what we see, all the applications are data driven, right? So all insights are lying there in the data. So we have to see like how we can churn that data and bring in the right insight from there. And all the historical data helps you to predict the future values. For example, any e-retailer would like to see, like, if my sales trend for the last 6 months is this, how will I meet my future demand, or what my future demand will look like. So there can be a scenario. For example, we have done a work for Middle East customers in retail. So there, the pain point was that they have visibility of their sales in the near future, but they wanted to assess like how the sales or the add-on selling of the services impacted by the seasonality. So we have to do a lot of study by using their historical data to predict that your sales should look like this after 6 months, and that actually really helped them to plan their inventory basically. So they not only we provided them a recommendation engine which predicts that this is your future inventory situation, this is your future sales forecast, and we also provided some kind of an add-on service analysis on top of that, that really helped them to understand like on what main products, what kind of add-on services or products are selling, that actually helps them to do some kind of a we call it as a market basket analysis. So that really helped them to plan their inventory and sales, and they also advised a lot of their retail stores to pick up the trends and plan their sales accordingly. Apart from that, all predictive analytics helps to help them to stand out from their competitors, because everybody wants to stay ahead in the competition, right? So they always see like how can I capture new market or a new customer segment, or how can I predict my sales revenue in advance so that I can do a better planning, right? So while we are talking about planning, I just wanted to highlight that along with SAP Analytics Cloud, there's another module called Ssc Planning, which helps them to do their financial and budgeting planning for the next 1 year or so. So that really helps them during this pandemic to plan their cash flows and revenues and budgets and do all the forecasting. Okay, so while we are talking about why predictive analytics, right? So another important thing is that now the predictive analytics is no more domain restricted, right? Earlier, it used to be seen as something which banking domain customers use to predict frauds or anomalies in the transactions. But nowadays, every industry is trying to leverage predictive analytics. For example, I would talk about manufacturing as an industry. So we have done some study for a Middle East customer, where there was a breakdown of a plant, and they were not really able to identify the root cause, right? So we did a lot of study in their data and identified that there are certain parameters which actually went beyond the normal values, and what are the circumstances that lead to that abnormality. So that really helped the customer to get that insight, and now we have set those thresholds so that if anything goes beyond those threshold values, it can predict that there can be a system shutdown may happen. So they were able to totally take control of those parameters, and they kept all the temperatures of the machines and other things well in control using the IoT sensors, so that all the values remain within the threshold, and there were not any shutdown uh, uh, incidents that happened. So that is how predictive analytics, I would say, is helping customers across various industries. It helps them to improve their operations, day-to-day operations and margins, and I think optimizing their market campaigns is also now another very niche and unique area which they are looking for. So they wanted to target their what the product campaign or the services campaign to very a targeted segment of the customers. So that is, I think, a very interesting area. Teji, I think you would like to add some energy perspective to it.
Let's get to the energy sector and ask Teji what's going on there.
Yes, no, thanks, Nitin. Yeah, I mean, whenever I listen to this predictive thing, there are so many stories we can always talk about. So as Nitin said, like predictive is no more banking thing. Even I remember like 5 to 10 years back, we always heard about this fraud detection and all that stuff happening in banking, and looks like a magic. Something goes in a black box and predictions come out, right? And I think we have got this black box to the energy industry too, and there are many places where we see this happening, right? So we, as I was talking earlier, right, we have seen in the utility industry, for example, they use these wooden poles to kind of transmit the electricity from within the city or across the cities, right? So there is a given life for those assets. So once we know about the age of the pole, type of pole, the properties of the earth, temperature, environment. So when we put all that stuff together in the black box of machine learning, right, and we kind of try to predict how 5 years down the line it's going to behave, we definitely see some patterns. So this is really helping a lot in terms of saving, increase the efficiency. When I say saving, it's more about let's cut down all the unnecessary inspections. Let us cut down all the unnecessary change in parts, and let's focus on the assets which really need attention, so that we give more attention to those assets. So that is the way energy industry is kind of leveraging it. Apart from that, there is a huge I would say improvements in terms of corrosion prediction nowadays. When I say corrosion prediction specific to energy sector, it's mainly coming from oil pipelines. They're very prone to corrosion, and any leak in the pipeline is a big issue. As we all know, environment is really what we have to care about, and this is where we have pretty much no leak policy in every company, right? So it's more about the environmental stewardship, and this is where when we use the data from the pipelines. For example, we look at like what is the age of pipeline, what coatings it have, how much under the ground it is or over the ground it is. So we feed in all the parameters, how many coatings are there, and when we look at the trends, data. I mean, we have seen majority of the time data speaks. We definitely see some trends, we see some patterns, but again, as machine learning is still evolving, AI is still evolving, we see every time we go for a new project, there is advancement. Every few months, there is advancement, right? We have more algos to play with. We have more power in the machines now, more data which we can capture. So this is happening in the corrosion prediction side of the world. Wherein we are able to, predict corrosion ahead of time, or I would say we have a health status check. That's the way I will put it, right? So this is going to help the pipeline companies to increase the life of their assets. Again, I mean, coming back to the upstream guys, we have all these companies going out and finding oil for us or energy for us. They have many pumps in the field. There are like millions of pumps only across North America. Those who are they have mechanisms to pull oil out of the ground. So basically, there are many failures which are happening across there. To increase their reliability or to increase their life, we use various parameters, same as I talked in the corrosion prediction or wooden pole failure. Mechanism is still the same. We look at all the environmental factors. We look at all the physical parameters along with the data. So it's more of a science project. We use physics. We understand it. What kind of things can lead to this kind of problems. So we put physics. We integrate it with the data. We pull the data in there, and then eventually we kind of try to come up with the predictions. So for me, a lot of these predictive analytics projects are science projects. We learn a lot through the journey. And every project is very specific, to be honest. I mean, there is no holy grail here, right? I mean, it's pretty much, you do a project, then you will get to know what exactly is happening. But it's helping us a lot.
Well, you actually raised a very pertinent point. Actually, it actually skipped my mind. So this is the industry where there is a mix of physics and maths.
True.
Absolutely, at the place where we look at physics, we look at how how wind is blowing or how fluid is moving, and then we collect data, we apply statistics on it, and this is, it just skipped my mind. So if
Correct.
someone asks me which is the industry where physics meets maths, that's the energy industry. You've actually nailed it.
Definitely, I totally agree. And I mean, we need to remember energy industry, it has kind of helped the mankind big time. When we talk about industrial revolution, it was all fueled by energy industry, right? And it's here to stay for another couple of decades. So a lot of advancements happened, and I think they are master of physics and all that. But now data is helping it to take to the next level.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And very rightly said, Teji. Every problem, every project, everything is unique and different, right? So there's
Yeah,
a new problem every time to solve. It's always unique.
Good.
exactly.
And to be honest, earlier science or physics was by guesswork, or you create the formula and use that and try and apply. Here you've got the data, apply the formula and check it. It takes no time.
Yes, yes. Just to add there, right? I mean, if we remember back in the days, we used to do the empirical formulas and try to play with data, right? So that was, and I think machine learning is doing the same, but at a way advanced level, because we cannot do that many formulas anymore, right? On hand. So we are using machines to do the same. We still do that empirical stuff. So this is where we are kind of directing the data to do certain things based on the physics. But then for calculations, we use the superpower of machine learning to help us, right?
No, I'm just thinking about this, and I'll tell you, someone made this comment to me around about 8 years ago. So we've got solar panels, and the government of Australia gave just gave discount on solar panels. So everyone was getting solar panels on their
Right.
roofs. So what happened was, I met one of my managing directors, and he told me one thing, and I was amazed. He said, the best temperature to generate optimal electricity is what? I said, I don't know. There is sun. There should be electricity. He said 20 degrees. And how do you find it? So now we've got the data to prove that 20 degrees is the right optimal temperature to generate maximum energy. And so what he did was, he ran water pipes to across the solar panels so that the temperature could be brought down to 20 degrees when there was full sun at 40 degrees.
Awesome.
Now, this is what people can do when they understand what's going on and what optimal temperatures they can control. Even to the next thing, you look at the wind, the wind. What do you say?
Windmills.
Windmills, right?
Yeah.
The wind blows. What is the optimal wind blow that should generate maximum energy? And
Correct.
also how far they should be placed so that there is no negative energy being created. No, you couldn't do that if you didn't have powerful machines to do that, to run the formulas. But now you can do that.
Exactly, and that's the whole thing, right? I mean, and this is where I believe the value chain concept is very important, which we used to we never really run the industries in that way. We used to work in silos, and same with the energy industry. Everybody worked in silos, but now when we look at end to end and we see how data is impacting, we are able to see that it is
I think we've lost this. Teji is getting. Hey, Teji, we lost
yes,
you. You're
yes,
back.
I'm back.
Stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I was just telling, the concept of value chain is something which is now being used because of this capacity we have because of the data lakes and, computation, cloud computing and all, right? We never had it before, and everybody was working in silo, and that's what is being broken now. We have broke the silos. We are talking to each other, and as very rightly said by you, right? All these examples of windmills and all. Now we are able to see that happen, right? Earlier we used to think about it, but we couldn't really prove it, or we couldn't really put it to practice because there was no way to justify the investments. But now we can justify the concept and then go ahead and do magic with it.
Okay, perfect. Now let's come to my favorite area or subject, which is data analytics. And let me grill the data analytics guys for a minute. So, guys, tell me two questions. One question is simpler, whereas if you were to advise a company who's got a data analytics team, what would you ask them to focus on? What would you ask the C-level or the directors to tell their data analytics team to focus on? Is that, and I come back, why am I saying that? Because Long time ago, we used to say, give me the data and I'll find something for you. Is that the approach that you want them to do? Or you would say, let's take a problem and solve it? How do you guys look at it? Who wants to go with you?
Yep. So as we all know that analytics only works when it starts with the right questions, right? No second thought about it, right? So before investing, companies or C-level, guys should list their pain points and investigate that, right? So that's also very obvious. But what are these right questions, right? If you ponder upon, what exactly do they want to find out, right? So it's very good to evaluate the well-being of your business first, right, on internally within your management, right, and then agree company wide what KPIs are most relevant for your business, right. No two companies will have the same KPIs or same pain points, right. So research around different KPIs examples and compare them to your own company problems or pain points, right. So a KPI dashboard could be a smart investment to monitor your key performance indicators as well as to provide a transparent view of your company's data. That would be first, right? And second, what standard KPIs will you use that can help you to compare these, right?
Mm.
Third, I would say, where will your data come from? These days, with the abundance of data sources, things become very complicated as it is, right? So, what is the right data source that you should use to arrive at such results? And fourth, how can you ensure data quality, right? So insights and analytics based on a shaky data foundation will give you, well, what we can say, poor insights and analytics, right. So all sources within a business have a motivation for providing data, so the identification of that information to use and also from which source it is coming from should be one of the top questions to ask about data analytics. Then a very important and a very significant question to add up to all this will be, who are your final users, right. Who will use your analytics results? How will they apply your reports, right? So it's very, very important to get to know your users well, I would say. Yeah.
So that's the business intelligence aspect of it. And with that, I always say garbage in, garbage out. So you need to make sure that there is no garbage going in so that you don't get a garbage out. Nitin, you want to add something to it? But before that, guys, if you've got a question, please put that in the comment section. I will take that question just very soon. So it's your time, your moment. If you've got a question, put that in the comment section. And also, don't forget to like and share this video so more and more people can watch it. Nitin, over to you.
Right. Thanks, Shailendra. So I think I would like to mention, and Vidhu, I think, has covered most of the points, but I would like to highlight one important thing, that always analytical solutions are business driven rather than being the tool or technology driven. So we should have the clear business problem or the challenge or the pain point, described very clearly to the service provider, so that then customers can look at the right technology stack to be chosen for to address that particular problem, right? So definitely the business comes first, and applications should be business driven rather than tool or technology driven, right? The second thing is customers should always prioritize what they want, right? They might want maybe 10 applications or 20 applications, but they need to first prioritize what is their priority and what they want first to be rolled out, and based on their business criticality. And they should also be cognizant about their budget, because all these analytical applications and setting up data warehouses and a few things might require a lot of cost, okay? But where there the SAP comes in and brings the value, because we have solutions which do not require so much of upfront cost, like DWC or Ssc, as I mentioned, because they are totally cloud based. But still, customers should be cognizant about their budget and the investments, and prioritize the use cases based on the business criticality and the budgets that they have. And third important point, they should always build a data analytics roadmap first before they embark on this journey, right? Because there are certain things which goes into the infrastructure. So I can give you an example. Recently, we were working on an opportunity where customers are from the banking sector, and they really want to create a customer golden record. The idea is that they wanted to get the entire information about customers, what is their demographic data, what are their purchase pattern, how many loans and deposits they have, so on and so forth. So that actually they want the entire blended data as the reference point to make them, enable them to offer the right services or products when they come to the counter. So in order to achieve or arrive at a particular customer golden record, it requires a lot of data sources to be combined, bring all of them to a data lake, and then start building the analytical applications, right? And it cannot happen overnight. Many customers feel that, okay, I can give customer service provider a 3 or 4 month timeline, and I will have my application ready, and I should be able to leverage that. But it takes some time for to build the infrastructure first. So we need to prioritize. Let's build that data integration and the lake and governance strategy first to get the data lake or the customer golden record created first. Or I would say that let's invest some time in data preparation. And data is the foundation for any analytical application. You can bring in machine learning, AI, ML, deep learning later on. I mean, no worries. But first, you need to set the your roadmap first. The data lake infrastructure should be there in place, and then any analytical application can be built.
Okay. How can I do it without Teji? Teji, what's your point of view on the energy sector here?
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, definitely I will add some, So yeah, thanks Vidhu and Nitin. So they have covered it all. I would add something from the execution perspective, right? So once we know, like for an energy company, right? I mean, we have to make sure there is a sanity check of they have all this data infrastructure and all. But when we are going to execute the project, right? I mean, I typically look at go with the MVP model, like minimum viable product, so that we fail fast, learn fast, and then we change the course of the direction, right? Because in the energy world, we are seeing a lot of these predictive applications. We don't have a lot of clarity to start off. We kind of have a huge scope, and then we slowly narrow down, right? So rather than going full blown, we go agile, we go like in sprints, like every 2 weeks, have a checkpoint, change the direction, and kind of fail fast kind of strategy. So that is really helping, and that should be the way forward until we really mature these technologies and we have a good understanding. But as we already talked, right, energy sector is very diverse and it's still learning its challenges, right? And we should kind of fail fast, learn fast, and then keep moving. So that is one of the key learning I have seen from the execution perspective. Apart from that, if you look at the energy world, right? I mean, we are into the transition era, right? I mean, whenever we talk to the business executives, right? I mean, this is always talk of the town that all these oil and gas companies, they want to be energy companies, and which is very true because we are kind of adding the value chain now. We are no more silos. We are no more oil and gas, renewables, utility. It's all the same. We are going to go find resource and deliver the resource to the end customer. So since we are transitioning from the fossil fuel to the renewables, and now we are going to the maybe green energy or blue energy down the line, right? Hydrogen energy is even better than this, right? So we are looking at extending the life of assets in the upstream industry. So they need to kind of increase the life of assets. So predictive asset maintenance is here to stay, and they need to really look at it holistically and go for it. And apart from that, in the distribution side of it, as I said, right, smart metering data and all that stuff we have to do to make sure we reduce the inefficiencies. We kind of make sure those data are really used and optimized values brought out, and that is gonna lead to the customer empowerment. At the end of the day, it's all about customer empowerment now, right? So that is the learning we had lately. Fail fast, go quickly there, and for these industries, especially oil and gas, go for predictive asset maintenance, do all this analytics, reduce the inefficiencies, do more with less, and then use all these technologies, AR, VR, voice recognition, because there are so many technologies which are being tested and tried in other industries, and then just bring those knowledge and then just integrate it.
Okay. Long time ago, 20 years ago, I wrote an article which talked about enablement, engagement to empowerment. We did enablement long time ago. Then we were talking about engaging with the customers. And now we are in a state where we're talking about customer empowerment. And I think We're getting there. Okay.
Yes.
I'm not going to waste much more time. We have enough. I've grilled you enough. So let's get to the audience Q&A, and give me a second and we'll go there. Good stuff. Let's go. First question first comes from Twitter. And there is a guy, his name is Musketeer1, and he says, can you provide a recent case study? Who wants to go? I think, Teji, you need to go because it's going to be energy.
Yes, yes. So we I can talk through many. So there are so specifically, I mean, we have done if you want to take one case study in all the discussions we have done a very good use case of pipeline analytics where we have kind of helped the companies to come up with the corrosion predictions and as I said, right, it's very specific, so there is a lot of learning. So that's one case. Then we have also done the wooden pole failure use case. We have done that for one of our client, and we have also done this pumps failure for the upstream sector. So there are ample of use cases we have worked on, and then
Wait a minute. Let's take it this way. Let's talk about the pump failure
sure.
project, right? So
Yes.
what was the problem? What did you do? And what was the benefit?
Exactly. Okay. So basically, the challenge was, so these are the pumps which are kind of used to pull oil out of the ground. So there are many they call it ESP, electric submersible pumps, right? So they're down in the oil well, and they are sitting in the hot temperature, right? I mean, it's highly pressurized and temperature is there. So in those conditions, those pumps are trying to give us the oil. Now, what was happening? They had a given time frequency. So they do time-based inspection. For example, they were doing inspection of a pump every 6 months, right? And then they were doing the health check. So what they found, still they were finding some anomalies and there were some failures happening, so which is unexpected. So because of that, that well was going down and they were not able to produce oil out of that. So now that is leading to downtime, loss of revenues. So what to do now, right? They tried to play with the frequency of inspection, but it didn't work. There were still some anomalies. So there was like a big question now what to do, right? I mean, you cannot cut down inspection to a very short period because still there were anomalies coming. So eventually they captured all the data, put it together, gave it to us. So what we did, we used some of the machine learning techniques and wherein we put in, so think like this, we are getting the temperature, pressure, electric signal, the kind of production coming out of the well. So there were about 100 variables which went into the model, from which we try to learn, is there any anomaly pattern? Is there any pattern when things fail? There is certain spike in a pressure or there is a certain spike in the electric signal. So we were able to identify those anomaly, those outliers were giving some indications. So based on that, we were able to recommend that whenever you have this kind of a signal, you prioritize the inspection of that kind of pumps. So that way they were really able to cut down that failures to pretty much 90%. It's now, they used to have 10 failures, now it's only one. They still have some outliers, and as I was telling, every machine learning project has their own learnings. So we are kind of looking at it again and again and kind of refining the ML models and all that stuff. So this was the overall objective.
And I'm sure they're using SSC to showcase what's going on.
Exactly. So there were all this SAP technology. So, cloud platform was used to kind of bring in all the data, and then SAC for visualizing the, all this application and run the machine learning models there, and then see the trends and pattern anomalies, so it was a huge stack of business technologies being used there. Yeah, the core was basically to understand what are what are the drivers behind those anomalies. Once we found those drivers, we are able to kind of come up with those kind of outputs.
Sure. Okay.
And just to add here, Shali, just to add here, because we are doing this show especially for our Southeast Asia and India audiences, right? I just want to add here that if you were to talk about what Incture has done in this space, we are proudly, to share this that across geographies and particularly in Southeast Asia, Incture has been doing projects with companies like Coca-Cola, Synarmas, Jollibee, Singapore Power, right, and some of the big big accounts in India as well, being Walmart, Dr. Reddy's, and Unilever, Asian Paints, and BDMS on Thailand. So just to give a perspective on the kind of work Incture is doing. Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, let's get to the next comment. Pedro Cardoso, the data ninja. He says, happy to be here and listening, even for a little while, to this insightful roundtable. Thank you, Pedro. Pleasure to have you watching. Then Pedro goes on and says, Teji has a whiteboard in his office, just like me. I like the digital transformation SAP Partner even more. Plus, he's a Canadian.
You Canadians.
Pity you have a fan base.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it helps me, to track my digital transformation for sure.
Yes.
You may want to have a digital whiteboard now.
I think I need to upgrade. I agree. Yeah.
Pedro is saying, I agree with you. Intelligent ERP, digital transformation, AI have all gone from a nice to have to an essential must-have enabler of real everyday value, and no longer merely a competitive advantage, but a survival of the fittest must-have.
Yeah. Thanks, Pedro. Thanks for joining, and thanks for your energy.
Good stuff. And he's saying, as an SAP partner in the data space, my customers are now laser focused on getting the data house in order. This means, in turn, getting the business processes standardized, optimized, digitized, and codified. Very well said. I think I should steal that last line. This means, in turn, getting the business processes standardized, optimized, digitized, and codified. SODC. Good stuff. Thank you, Pedro. Thank you for the night insight. Okay. Pedro is not stopping. He says, Shailendra moves his arms and hands more than I do. This is truly a partner with energy, passion, purpose, and evangelic awesomeness. I may be part of the SAP extended family, but I wish I was in this time zone. I can't stay for the entire show. 5 a.m. EST will come too soon, and it is past my bedtime. I must consume this later. Thank you, Pedro. Thank you very much for your kind words. Thank you. And thank you for watching at this early hour. But he's not gone. He's asked a question.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Pedro. We deserve a big kudos. Yeah.
Yes.
What challenges do you see from a data management, literacy, and governance perspective that impacts the ability of organizations to truly leverage the power of predictive analytics? Who wants to take that? Vidhu?
Yeah, I think I can take this up.
Nitin?
Yeah. So I think there are challenges which customers are seeing on the data management side, because every customer wants to ensure that I should not have too much of upfront cost investment to have a very lengthy and a very complex BW implementation, which takes sometimes months or years. So everybody wants a very quick solution, and they want everybody to come up to the speed, and especially the CXO level of business users. They really want a very quick insight. They really cannot wait on a BW implementation to happen and then generate some insights, right? And that is where the SAP's DWC, a data warehouse on cloud, comes handy, and the features are really addressing all these pain points very clearly. And I have called it out in my previous statement as well. I wanted to highlight this once again. It helps you to integrate all the disparate SAP, non-SAP data sources at one place, and while we are still leveraging the in-memory capabilities of HANA, it has a lot of pre-built content itself based on the industry, which we can leverage, and we can do all the blending and harmonization of the data. And it has a business semantic layer to it, so which really helps to build the data marts pertaining to any department or any industry that we want. Okay, and it has an integrated the visualization tool, which is SSC, that really helps you to generate. This tool I have used many times, and it's actually a plug and play tool. You can just pull in and connect to some data source on the fly, and connect 2-3 tables, and quickly build a model and the visualization on top of it. So that really helps the CXO level people to bring people on board and generate insights and take actions on it. And all this you can do while still retaining your legacy BW system investments, because this will act just as an extension to your current BW, and this is completely on cloud and scalable.
Good stuff. Thank you very much. Pedro is not stopping, and he says, after all, when there is bad data, the root cause is really what I call poor parenting and ungoverned business processes. And he's mentioned saying bad data means AI becomes AS, artificial stupidity. BI becomes BS. We know what that stands for. ML becomes MM, machine mistakes. Data lakes become data swamps. So of course, I'm speaking in hyperbole to make a point. What are you seeing customers doing differently in the utilities and energy space to truly becoming a data-driven organization? And I think that is for Teji. Teji?
Yes, Shalendra, we can talk about it. So I think, yeah, I mean, that's a very valid comment, right? I mean, data is again, that's the core of the whole analytics, right? I mean, if it is not right, it's all wrong, right? Garbage in, garbage out. So what we typically do or see, I've seen this trend. I mean, we do see this lot of customer because of the push of the digital, stuff from top. They kind of rush into the projects and trying to, go into the project without doing a lot into it. So what we typically do, we do assessment of most of the projects. We really look at the landscape, as Nitin was talking before, right, about the data infrastructure and all. We do make that check and recommend client to spend some time to get the data in place and put the right channels in place. And not only the data, I mean, we have seen in all of these predictive analytic projects, the data is coming in, and a lot of time it's very hard to put them in the right buckets because it's never been checked, it's never been sanitized. So I would say first half of our project, typically 50% of our time goes in getting those data lined up, and that's where we spend a lot of energies. So what we are doing from the Incture perspective, we are trying to educate customers a lot. Whenever we get into the engagements, we definitely do a holistic check on and give them the recommendations. SAP has a huge technology stack, right? And in many ways they can help these companies, right? So we definitely make sure we have our experts, like Nitin and Vidhu, helping them coming up with the right data infrastructure and come up with all those technologies to get it right in the first place before they dive deep and invest into the analytic project. So that's what we have seen. Vidhu, Nitin, you want to add something? That's what my take on it.
Yeah, you rightly said it, Teji, earlier that it's a black box, right? So
Yeah.
when companies and CEOs panic, right? So it's a black box and very challenging at that time. It needs patience, and as I said, to increase the complication, there are a lot of data sources, and there's a lot of wish and want attached to the emotions of companies that we want this, we want that, but it's a black box which needs thorough understanding, drilling down, going deep down to what is the pain point actually and what is the expected output, right? So
Correct.
yeah,
Correct.
it's a
Just to add here, yeah, I think setting the expectation is one of the key thing here, Shailendra, and this is what I'm seeing. We are trying to do it rightly because sometimes customer doesn't know the expected
what
output.
they want. Yeah,
So
what they
we need
want.
to make
Yeah.
that reality check there and make sure we have a holistic view on that and do a bottoms up check, right, on the whole data management.
Okay.
Right.
Right. So I
Perfect.
want to highlight one important point here. So I think there's a question about data governance here. So I think all SAP's products like DWC or HANA Cloud brings in this data governance as its internal feature, and which is very much prominent and highlighted to all the customers that data governance is available, and we can actually sort out and give the right access to the right data at the right time to different users. So yeah, I just wanted to highlight that.
Okay. And then there is Prapul Pali, who's a regular on the show. He comes in every day, every time I'm live. Hi, Prapul. How are you? Thank you for joining us. And then there are a few comments from Soumya, and I don't know why her name is not appearing, but this is Soumya Moni, and she says, Teji Sandhu, yes, we'd like you to view more image analytics and visual data streams and utilities. Yes, she's right.
Yes.
And she says, Nitin, great insights on SAP Data Warehouse Cloud and its benefits. Visualization connections to varied data sources are strong differentiators. I'm not sure why we can't see her name, but we're seeing others. And then Soumya also said, Vidhu, excellent points on intelligent enterprise.
Thanks, Soumya.
And Soumya did mention a link to, and these are all links which are available on the LinkedIn portal, LinkedIn page. If you guys go in and want to watch any of these areas, you can go and get it there. The links are available. So guys, thank you very much. That was it all about. We've got all the questions done, and we've gone way past our 1 hour time. We run our 34 minutes, which is regular, which is usual on this show. We don't tend to stop in between, but thank you very much for joining in. And Teji, what is the time there, by the way?
Let me check. I'm not even looking at the time right now. Yeah, I'm enjoying the show. It's just past 10:30 right now.
Okay.
Teji is used to stay
He's just
late
getting
night
warmed
and
up. Yeah,
us.
he's just getting warmed up.
Yeah, I work for multiple time zones, so I'm used to it. But yeah, thanks, Shalendra, for your energy. You know, I liked it. You know, I enjoyed your show. I think. Thanks a lot for getting us here, and there is an opportunity here. We talk to so many people, and yeah, thanks for giving us this forum. And we are looking forward for making some change in the world by getting these applications in the digital world.
Yes, and very grateful, Shelley, for inviting us. Grateful and appreciate that you invited us all, and we had a wonderful time. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Thank you very much, Nitin.
Thanks, Shalendra. I think as Teji mentioned that your energy really inspires all of us, and I think thanks for providing this platform to reach out to various customers, prospective customers, and interested users. So thanks a lot for this opportunity and the platform.
Before you go, I always ask one question to the guests. What is one phrase that is coming to your mind at this point? A phrase, not a paragraph, a phrase that you would like to leave for your audience. I will start with Nitin.
Okay, so I would say data analytics or predictive analytics is the key if you wanted to stay ahead in your competition. So start planning for that now, and Incture is there to support you in your journey.
Teji, T.
Yeah, I would say, try data analytics. Don't be afraid. Go for it. And industry is getting there. A lot of people are not doing it because they think they will fail, but I think we are there now. So there is a lot to do. So let's leverage that knowledge now and get into it.
And Vidhu.
Keep sharing. Get in touch with us at incture.com and cherryworks.com, and stay safe, stay happy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. It was a pleasure having you guys here.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.
Stay safe. Have fun.
So, guys, that was the Incture team with their insights on what they're doing in the data analytics space, especially in the energy sector. I hope you enjoyed. You got some use cases. You liked their energy as well. You're quite excited about it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you very soon. If you're watching this on LinkedIn, please press the follow button. If you're watching this on YouTube, press the subscribe button and the bell icon it is. And if you're watching this on Twitter, please follow me so that you can get alerted whenever a new show is on. And if you're watching this on Facebook, do me two things. One is like this so more people can see this, and also share it in various groups. And I've been saying that on all my shows. Please share it to other groups which are analytics focused or which are artificial intelligence or predictive analytics focused, so more and more people can learn from our guests today. Thank you very much for watching, and it was a pleasure having you all spending time with me, and see you soon. Thank you.